Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We gotta add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the massive buying opportunities that are presenting themselves right now in the cryptocurrency space. You know, the wonderful thing about Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market is that it's volatile. You know, the very risky thing about Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market is that it is very volatile. And what we are witnessing over just the last 24 to 48 hours has been a great deal of that exact volatility that we are used to seeing in the cryptocurrency space. Today, we're going to be talking about how we can actually use that volatility for our own benefit and take advantage of some of the dips that we have been seeing as of late. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Jeb McAfee. I've been working in the cryptocurrency space for almost 7 years now, teaching you guys exactly how to build wealth in the cryptocurrency space. And it all goes back to sovereignty. Are we the ones that are self-directing our lives? Are we being intentional about every single facet of our lives? Are we planning our investments? Do we control our investments? Do we understand our investments? Are we able to keep track of our investments? Do we have a budget? Are we paying off debt? Are we investing for the long run before building wealth in the short run and trying to increase lifestyle? Are we doing the things that it takes to be sovereign over money, which is the chief way that you can be wise with your finances? We're going to be talking about how we can do all of that and more in today's episode of Coffee and Crypto Live, and I'll be showing you how we can take advantage of this corrective movement. Reading chat, we've got Christina in chat, RJ, Cynthia, Crypto Ohio, Coin Operator, Chase, Joe Bollier, Triple Threat Gaming, it's 421, Alan, Lene Charles, Cosmin B, Philly Skills 1428, Joel Elbs, Casper Kawala is in chat, good to see you, Grand Roofing Incorporated, Alexander, Petro, Mama is in chat, Seb's in chat, Alex again, Psychedelic Sunshine, and Seb, thank you guys so very much. I really appreciate all of you for tuning in. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on over to CoinMarketCap. We got a lot to cover today. I do want to let you know the Bitcoin is down another 4% in the last 24 hours, reaching down to local lows here in the $62,000 region. Now, the reason that this is occurring is multifaceted. First and foremost, there is a Bitcoin halving that is coming into play very, very shortly. CoinMarketCap predicts that we'll be seeing that halving in 3 days on the 19th of April. While we don't know the exact time and the exact date, although at this point the date is pretty much certain that it'll be Friday, while we don't know the exact time that the Bitcoin halving will occur, we do know that it's going to happen in the next 4 days. And when that happens, I think that it's going to bring about quite a degree of volatility into the cryptocurrency space, which we will then see shake out into a definite trend. So far, Bitcoin and its crypto compatriots have seen quite a lot of bearish price action, and we've seen a lot of sideways action here on Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been trading sideways for about 35 days now, ever since about the 12th, 13th of March, 14th of March, almost the 15th of March, almost the Ides of March. About the 15th, 14th of March, we've been trading sideways and largely going into a corrective movement, a drop of about 20%. At grand total, so far, we are down 16% right now from the all-time high. It's so fun being able to say all-time high instead of yearly high or local high. We actually did hit all-time high, which is great, about $72,800. But quite a few of our technical indicators have actually flipped bearish. One of them is LUX Algo. You know, it's funny. I made a video the other day about how 7 of the last 8 buy signals on LUX Algo ended up being bullish signals. They ended up playing out correctly. This is one of those rare occasions that LUX Algo actually got it wrong. LUX Algo almost always gets it right, as you can see right here and right here. For example, these are the last 2 times that we saw confirmed buy signals on LUX Algo. They got it very, very right. But no technical indicator is perfect, and that is why we have to make sure that we understand the principles of technical analysis. We have to make sure that we understand how to actually analyze and read these markets. It's very important that we are using our thinking cap. And one of the things that we need to keep in mind is that Bitcoin has not broken out of this range just yet. While that buy signal did lead us up to nearly a new all-time high, it didn't end up playing out the way that we wanted it to for a couple of reasons. Number one, we saw Iran attacking Israel with a massive drone and missile barrage over the weekend that led to fear, uncertainty, and doubt in all global markets. The S&P 500 index, for example, SPX, has dropped from 5,200 points all the way down to 5,065 points, and the SPY itself, which of course is tracking the, which is of course the actual ETF itself, has dropped in total from 525 points down to about 504, which is a 4% corrective movement. A couple of tips there. Number one, if you have not started investing for retirement, now's a great time to do it because we're on a dip. Begin your monthly, not necessarily weekly, but in this case for retirement, monthly investments into a 401k with a match, then into an IRA. And while you're doing that, make sure that you're also maxing out an HSA, which is a health savings account. And if you have children, you can max out something called a 529 plan, which is a way that you can invest in the stock market and in the securities market for your children's college. All 4 of those are great assets. 3 of those are always going to be available to you if you're a United States citizen. One of those, the 401k, is provided by a company. So if you don't have that, then the other 3 will do great. But maxing out all 3 of those is a great way to build wealth in the stock market. And on this corrective movement that we're seeing right now, it's a great time to start. Now, something I want you to understand is that the market movement that is occurring in the stock market is part of the movement that is causing the drop on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's drop here is largely, in my opinion, predicated on 2 events. 3 events. The halving, the stock market crash that we're seeing right now, not so much a crash, it's a small correction, it's a 4% movement, and the attack from Iran on Israel over the weekend. All 3 of those, as terrible as 2 of them are, the stock market crash, the stock market drop, again, it's not a crash, the stock market drop and the attack from Israel, Iran on Israel, in response to Israel's attack on Iran's embassy in Syria. As terrible as those 2 events are, they are likely going to be fleeting. We don't want to diminish the human suffering that took place on both sides of the attack and those atrocities that occurred in the Middle East, but just being honest, the way the media cycle works, media will have forgotten about it in a week, and it will stop impacting markets a week from now. The people that were injured and killed in those attacks will, of course, be impacted for the rest of their lives, and their families, of course, will be impacted for the rest of their lives. As far as the markets are concerned, the market will forget about it in a week, because that's just kind of the way it goes. So here in a week, the halving is going to have occurred, which means the uncertainty of what's going to happen will have shaken out, because what was going to have happened will have already happened. Does that make sense? What's going to happen when the halving occurs? Well, 2 days after the halving, we know what happens after the halving occurs. It does this. We don't know what it's going to do yet. We can make a prediction, but ultimately, we got to wait and find out, right? So here in a week, we will know what happened after the halving happened. How? Because it'll be in the past at that point. A week from now, the halving will have been 4 days ago. We will also be a week further away from these horrible attacks that have been taking place in the Middle East and have crashed and corrected markets. And to be honest with you, the markets may still be in a corrective movement, but I don't see the stock market going any lower than 480 over here on S&P, which means that if it does continue a correction at this rate, we may end up dropping all the way down there over the course of the next couple of weeks, but then it's going to bottom out, and you know what people are going to do? They're going to buy the market, because there's a lot of economic incentive right now to be buying into the stock market. We just broke all-time high. So people are buying U.S. stocks. Obviously, right now we're in a correction, but there's a lot of buy pressure here because people are starting to say, all right, the economy is still on shaky ground, but it seems to be correcting itself after the 2020 and 2021 COVID pandemic. And so what we are witnessing right now are a few confluential bearish events that have all impacted Bitcoin. The halving, which is in this case turning out to be a bearish event in the short term, the attack from Iran on Israel, and the stock market correction. Here's the good news. In a week, Nobody will be talking about the Iranian attack on Israel anymore. There will be something new that the media is talking about. Now, maybe there's an escalation. That can happen. In a week, the stock market will probably be close to bottom. People will be buying it. Might not be bottomed out a week. Might be 2-3 weeks from now, but it's going to bottom out. And the halving will occur. A couple of those things are actually very bullish. When the stock market bottoms out, people are going to start buying it. They're going to get good deals on it. And they're going to say, man, I'm making money in my stocks. Why don't I go more risk on and buy Bitcoin? And the other thing that's going to happen is that the Bitcoin is going to have occurred, and we know that in the long run, the Bitcoin is actually a very bullish event. In the last week or so, it's appeared to be a bearish event, but in the long run, it's actually one of the most bullish events that can ever occur on Bitcoin. In the short term, it does lead to uncertainty because, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? But these are the last couple of halvings, as you can see denoted here in these vertical lines. This halving occurred in 2016. We rallied 3,000%. Following it. This having occurred on May 11th, 2020, we rallied 600% following it. Even if there's diminishing returns, we could still expect a 150 to 200% rally coming out of the halving, which would put us up towards 160 to potentially as high as $200,000. Do those price targets sound familiar? Because they should. We've talked about those price targets a lot, up between $100,000 and $200,000. Makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of reasons to think that's going to occur. So, am I scared about this corrective movement? No, we're still very bullish on the long run. We've been under a confirmed buy signal on LUX Algo for over a year on the weekly chart. On the monthly chart, likewise, just a couple of months ago, we got a confirmed buy signal there. The last time we saw that occur was right here, which was at the beginning of the bull market. The time before that was right here, which was actually before LUX Algo was ever invented, but this was a... this is an indicator that can be back tested. So this is when it would have triggered back here, went into a major bull market. This is the third major bull market that I have ever participated in. The third. I've been here a while and I've picked up on some trends. And one of the trends is that when something is happening that doesn't have a lot of track record, or especially if it's never happened before, people tend to freak out about it because they go to the worst case scenario. And so a lot of people right now are going to the worst case scenario on the halving and thinking, oh my goodness, the world's going to end because Bitcoin's going through a halving. What is going to happen? It's so scary. How are we going to process this? I don't know. So a lot of people are pulling money out of the market. And you know what they're also doing? They're also saying, man, I just made a boatload of money on my alts. And I bought in. I know some of you guys bought Solana like $10. You're up 20x. No doubt that people are buying, are selling and taking profits. I'd be. You're up 20x. Of course you're going to take some profits. Of course people are taking profits on Bitcoin. Of course people are taking profits on Solana, especially a coin that had rallied so far. Of course. Why do I say that? Of course people are taking profits on Cardano. People are hating on Cardano, but here's the deal, right? Cardano rallied from 23 cents, and a lot of people are accumulating down here below a quarter, sorry. Rallied all the way up to 79 cents. That's still like a 300% movement. That's like a 3x. People are taking profits. Should we be scared of the halving? No. Should we be scared of this drop on the stock market? No. Is the attack from Iran on Israel going to impact the market forever? No. Is it something to be concerned about? That is something to be concerned about. We definitely don't want escalation in the Middle East. I explained why yesterday. Not even talking about the untold amount of human suffering that comes from war. Economically speaking, a war between those two would be absolutely catastrophic for the global economy. So we don't want that. And that is where we need to pay close attention to what's going on the geopolitical stage as well when we're trying to track markets. But what's most important right now is the same thing that has always been the most important, and that is to be sovereign over our investments. We need to know what's happening in our investments. We need to understand what is occurring on a day-to-day or week-to-week or month-to-month basis with the different things that we're invested in. If you're invested in just the S&P 500, then first of all, good for you. You picked about the best thing to invest in. If you're only going to invest in one thing, you still need to be keeping up with what's going on in the United States markets, at least to some degree. That is how you are sovereign over that portion of your net worth. Many people, a large portion of their net worth is mixed up in the United States stock market, and that's a good thing. But we need to ensure that we understand we have a plan for those investments. Same thing in cryptocurrency. We need to be making sure that we are on a consistent basis buying assets that we reasonably believe will go up in value a considerable amount over time. And we need to have a plan for when we're going to take profits for them. In the stock market, you might say, I'm going to have a 4 to 6% withdrawal rate when I reach retirement age. I expect the market will grow between 8 and 12%. I'm going to pull out 4 to 6%, maybe even up to 8% sometimes based on the market. I'm going to have a withdrawal rate, and that's what I'm going to use to fund my retirement so that the retirement account increases in value in perpetuity. In the cryptocurrency space, then we have a withdrawal rate when we reach the all-time high. Excuse me, when we start reaching our exit position, which is not all-time high yet, hopefully a few months before all-time high, and a few X's below all-time high. Let's say Solana goes to $1,000, we get to $400 or $500, I want you to start taking 1% a week. Not a monthly basis, a weekly basis. We're going to take a withdrawal rate, and then we're going to speed it up if we're getting closer to what seems to be an all-time high. And if we just blast off to $1,000, we're selling a quarter of the portfolio right then. We're going to be very careful to take profits when we get the profits. And people taking my advice on that are the people that it took profits a week ago. They said, man, I'm up 3x. I'm up 4x. I made 10x on this coin. Awesome. I just did something great. I want to lock that in instead of trying to get greedy and get an 11x. Take a 10x rather than waiting and hoping you get an 11x. Please. I don't know how else to say that. Please do that. That is a smart thing to do. And if you don't do that, you might end up with a 3x because you held on to it for too long. If you've got a big return, then take some profits. It's never a bad thing to take profits. The enemy wants to lie to you and tell you, right, that opportunity cost is just as real cost. No, when you do accounting and you're trying to track an investment, you track the purchase price. That's how you do it for taxes, guys. You track the purchase price and the sale price. You don't track, oh yeah, but it could have gone to $100,000. I could have made this much. No, you track this is the price and the amount of the purchase. This is the price and the amount of the sale. Those are the only two points in time that you as the investor have any business concerning yourself with when it comes to your participation in the market as far as your buying and selling. Obviously, you need to understand what the markets are doing, right? Sorry, I had that on the wrong screen. You need to understand what the markets are doing. But we need to stop getting freaked out about opportunity cost. Oh my goodness, I can't sell. Now I'm up 5x, man. It could go up 10x. All right, then take 20% profit. Take 50% profit. Take 90% profit and let some ride if you want to play the risky business. But take some profits. Lock in some gains. Do it. It might not be the time right now. Obviously, Bitcoin's down quite a bit. But don't feel bad about taking profits. Don't feel bad about making money. How stupid is that? How dumb is that? We feel bad about making money. No. We're not trying to get shredded overnight. You don't get six-pack abs. You don't hit 2 plates on bench in a day. You do it with consistent improvement. You don't jump from 185 on bench to 280 to 225 in a day. What you do is you say, I'm going to try and add 5 pounds every week or every 2 weeks. Or I'm going to try and add a rep here or there, or I might even add a set 1 week, right? If you're trying to be a runner, you don't say, I'm going to go from running half a mile and then and then that's me, right? To I'm going to run 20 miles tomorrow. No, I'm going to consistently make an improvement. So I've got 3x. I could make 10x if I held it longer, but the key word is could. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a profit at 3x, and I'm going to live to fight another day and get another opportunity to make the same investment. And I might hold on to some of it because, by golly, it could 10x, but I'm going to take the principal out and some profits, and then I'm playing with house money. Sound good? It's not all about getting ripped and shredded in a day. It is about staying in the game for the long term. The gym is such a good analogy for this because the people that are in the gym and they're 60 years old and they are freaking jacked. There's another guy in the gym with us. He's my exact same height. And it's funny because my name is Jeb. His name is Jeff. This dude is my exact height. I'm 5'10 and a half. If I'm wearing shoes, I'm 5'11. This guy walks up to me, my exact same height. He's benching like 460. No, not 460. He's benching like 385 or something, right? The dude's over 60, or maybe he's in his 50s. I don't know, but he's my exact height. We are looking straight eye to eye. Nicest guy that you will ever meet in your entire life. Haven't seen him in a few months, but I can hearken back to this. And one of the things he tells me, told me and my wife, we were working out, and we knew this, but you know, this is something that is encouraging to hear. It's all about form. It's all about living to fight. It's all about staying in the gym. It's all about consistency. It's not about the one workout. It is more about growing every single time. Do the same thing in crypto. Don't get yourself burned because I just got to get that one last rep. And then what? You drop the bar on your neck and decapitate yourself? Was it worth it? No. Get the one less rep and live. Right? Cool. All right, let's read a little bit of chat, and then we're going to continue on here. Read a little bit of chat, and then we are going to continue on here. All right. Really, really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Let's see. Tom Crown in chat said, sending love and appreciation to Jeb and crew. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Tom, congratulations on the 100,000 subscribers. Would love to see the plaque when it comes in. Very, very exciting stuff there, my friend. Most important question, who wins in a fight, a taco or grilled cheese? Taco every single day. Are you kidding me? I'm married to a Puerto Rican. That lady knows how to make some burritos. Tacos. I am sold at our favorite restaurant. It's a Mexican restaurant. It's where we went on our first date. We were just there last week. Just, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. The enchiladas, the empanada. It's so good. So good. I'm the white boy that says, ¿Cómo estás? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. I can have an accent if I want. Oh my goodness. All right. Spending less than you make, save the rest. Yup. All right. Cool. All right, guys, we're going to continue right along here, but I want to let you guys know about a new sponsor that we have just brought on, and I am incredibly, incredibly excited to announce our partnership with Uphold once again and Vault, their product specifically, Vault. If you guys have not heard, Uphold just launched a new product, and it is called Vault, and it's a great name because that's exactly what it is. Picture this. Who's ever watched a war movie? Who's ever watched a war movie and you've got the nuclear bombs right there and you got the two keys and they're too far apart for one person to turn them, right? You got to have both keys and it takes two people to turn the key to launch the nuke. Luckily, that's never happened in warfare and that'd be a horrible, horrible thing to do. And this is almost a weird analogy, but this is the best way I can describe this product I'm about to share with you and why I'm really excited about it. Vault is a product that's a little bit like that. You've got two keys yourself and you get to turn both of them. But what happens if you lose one of them? What happens if you lose one of the keys? You know, that's kind of one of the big problems in the cryptocurrency space is, well, I want to self-custody, but if I self-custody and I lose the keys, I'm up a creek. There's no hotline I can call and say, I lost my keys. What do? I lost all my money. You know how many people have gone through this that have lost hundreds of millions of dollars? There's one guy in Britain that for the last 10 years has been searching this landfill because he had, like, I don't know, you guys know the story, a couple hundred Bitcoin on a hard drive, threw it away, trash compactor came, threw it in the landfill. This guy has been trying to raise money. He's raised hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last 10 years trying to find this hard drive because he lost the key and he couldn't get it back because it was on his hard drive. I still want you guys to be able to self-custody though, and that's why I'm really excited to introduce Vault. If you go to the link in the description box down below and you go, it will bring you to Uphold and you can go to products and services, hit Vault, and this is it will say new. Secure your assets with the confidence of Vault's assisted key replacement and access to instant trading. This is the first of its kind architecture that allows you to securely self-custody your cryptocurrency while having access to an exchange, and most importantly, if you lose a key, they've got a replacement that they can give you so you don't lose your coins forever. Now, remember the nuke analogy. You've got to have two keys to launch the nuke. Well, you get both keys because it's your wallet, but Uphold only has one, which means they cannot access your keys. But what it does mean is that if you lose one of them, Uphold will provide you with a key to replace the vault key that you lost. As you can see here, you've got two private keys, and if you lose either, Uphold will replace it and restore access to the assets in your vault. But again, remember, you've got to have both keys to open the vault and get into your Bitcoin. Uphold only has one, and they will use that to replace one if you lose it, so they can't access it, but you can, and if you lose a key, they will give you one to replace the one that you lost. Genius! This is such a cool idea, isn't it? Your vault has 3 keys. 2 are always required to move assets. You're in control. Ooh, I like it when I'm told that I'm in control. Where have we heard that before? Have you ever heard me talk about this idea of sovereignty? Who's ever heard me say the words financial sovereignty? Can I get a 1 in chat if you've heard me say that? You're in control. I like that. Vault right now is expanding the assets that are in its vault, if you will. Right now, it's live for Bitcoin and XRP, but of course, this is cutting-edge technology, so they're going to be adding more cryptocurrencies. But for right now, if you're trying to self-custody your Bitcoin in the most secure way, where you don't have to worry about losing your keys, then man, Vault is the place to go. So make sure to go to the link in the description box down below. It'll bring you to, give me 1 second, I will walk you straight through this. I will click on the link myself. it will bring you right here. If you click the link in the description box down below, it'll bring you right here. All you gotta do is come up to products and services, click Vault. It'll say new next to it. Click right here, and then go down here and hit get the app. Bring it up on your phone. Scroll down, and as you can see, there is a payment for this, which makes sense. It's a very premium product, but you can get a 30-day free trial right here. So make sure to check it out. This is dirt cheap, guys. When I talk to you about insurance, and I talk to you guys about peace of mind and controlling your assets, $4.99 a month, $49.99 a year, that's nothing. You're trying to self-custody thousands, tens of thousands, some of you guys, hundreds of thousands of dollars of Bitcoin. That is a very, very, very small fee to pay to a company that created an awesome product. So make sure to check it out. Link is in the description box down below. Go click that link, create your vault, and keep your custody today. All right. Good deal. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Let's read a little bit of chat, and then we will continue right along. Music Revolution said, that's a genius idea, Vault and Uphold. That's awesome, Jeb. Hashtag FinSov. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Isn't that cool? Thanks, Jeb. Vault seems awesome. That is nothing. $5 a month. Wow. Isn't it? Isn't that such a cool idea? They reached out to us and said, we want you guys to be the first ones to sponsor this. This just came out like last week. This is brand new tech. This has never been seen before. I don't know of anything that has ever I'd never heard of this kind of technology ever before. This is a great product. Uphold's been around for a long time. We've worked with them before. They're a great company. It sounds like a very good product, and I'm really excited to see you guys using it. So make sure to check it out. Link down below. My girlfriend hates Dogecoin. That is an awesome name. Acti Care Birmingham said it's a no-brainer at $5 a month. Absolutely. It is a no-brainer. Such a great idea. Such a flipping great idea. My girlfriend hates Dogecoin said, living in a trailer below my means, trying to buy a house for my daughter and me. I love it. I love it. I am very excited for you. Good job on living below your means. If you follow the law, not the rules. Let me make sure that I speak with the appropriate authority here, because we're talking about a law. Gravity is not a rule. Scarcity is not a rule that you get to break. No, it is a law that does not change, period. Rant over? You understand? Sound good? Awesome. Here you go. The laws of money. Choose financial sovereignty. Live on less than you make. Live below your means. Have a written plan for your money. That's called a budget. Get out of debt. Invest to build wealth for the long run. And be radically generous. If you do those 6 things with money, you will succeed. Basically, guaranteed. More or less, you are guaranteed to succeed. Proportionate to the amount of tragedy and suffering that you go through in your life, you are almost guaranteed to succeed with money. Cool. All right. Let's go ahead and look at the markets a little bit more. As you can see, guys, Bitcoin has gone into a correction, and I do think that we're looking at a good buying opportunity. If you're trying to buy Bitcoin for the long run, especially, like if you're trying to put it into an IRA and hold on to it for the long run, Bitcoin, I think, is in a great position right now. Or if you're trying to just hold it for the long run in Vault, for example, it's in a great position to buy right now. It may go lower. I want to be very clear on that. Bitcoin could go down to 53,000. Heck, it could go even lower than that. It could go down to 40. I'm not saying you should deploy all your cash. I would highly encourage you not to do that. I was just on a coaching call with someone yesterday, and they were feeling really sad because they deployed a lot of their capital up here. And now the market's correcting, and they're thinking, gosh, I wish I had some money. I should have listened to you when you said always hold on to some cash. And it wasn't like an I told you so moment, but it was just, we get to learn our lesson, and we get to do better next time. And we want to make sure that we are deploying capital, and we have capital to deploy. So keep some cash on hand. Bitcoin can drop a lot lower. I'm not saying deploy all of it. I'm not even saying deploy most of it. But it's not a bad idea to put a little bit in right now if you followed the financial sovereignty way, and you've got a budget, and you're out of consumer debt, and you've got maxed out retirement accounts, you're putting 15% of your take-home household income into retirement accounts. And then from there, if you're trying to build wealth and you're paying off your house and you're doing all these things, then go out. Feel free to put some more money into your cryptocurrency accounts. I don't want you guys to be so lopsided where almost all of your net worth is in crypto. That's a very risky way to live life. Very anxious way to live life. Please don't do that. But if you're in a position where you're saying, hey, I've got retirement accounts built out in the stock market. I've got a home, and I'm paying off the mortgage on it, I've got some assets, maybe I've got a business or a rent house or whatever it is, then yeah, go on. Buy some Bitcoin. Sure. I think that's great. But you guys have to make that decision for yourself. So please be wise. That is the core of financial sovereignty. All right. Got a great question here. I love that everybody is saying hashtag FinSolve. It's hashtag Fin, F-I-N, Sov, S-O-V. That is short for sovereignty. Hashtag FinSov. Financial sovereignty. Financial sovereignty. I love that. Are you guys trolling me? Because everybody's saying FinSolve. Alex Wells said, hello, nice light bulbs. Thank you. Edison lights. I love them. They're cool. Let's see. Now, Verhoofdeflufen asked a great question. Two great questions. Not related to crypto, but that's all right, because we're not just here to talk about crypto. This is really important. Jeb, how does one forgive earnestly? Is it one's duty to forgive? I'll answer the second question first because it is very simple. Yes, it is our duty to forgive. Let me tell you why. The Lord's Prayer says, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the power and the kingdom and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Right? You've probably heard that before. But what you might not have realized is that when you pray that, you are telling God, forgive me how I have forgiven the people that have wronged me. Whew. That's kind of scary. Wait a minute. You're asking God to forgive you the way that you've forgiven the people that have wronged you? It says elsewhere in the scriptures that God will forgive us with the standard of how we have forgiven others. So if you're walking around with unforgiveness in your heart, you are not in the forgiveness of God yourself, because you too are a sinner. I am a sinner. So how do we forgive earnestly? Since we know from the Holy Spirit breathed inerrant word of God that we must forgive if we want life. How do we do it? There was a story I heard one time of some Christians that they had come to Christ after the end of the Second World War, and they fought for Nazi Germany. And they went to some Poles, some other Christian Poles, and they went to them and they said, we have found the Lord. We have repented of our horrible atrocities while working for the Wehrmacht. Will you please forgive us? And the Poles responded to them and said, we cannot do this. This thing is impossible. And the Christians, the new believers that were, former Nazis, said, but aren't you a Christian? Don't you have to forgive? And there was, with a lot of humility there. This is a true story. A lot of humility there. Like, hey, we did horrible things. Would you please, please, please forgive us? We need it. We did terrible things to the Polish, to a lot of people. And the Poles responded to that and said, you're right. Because we are Christians, we have to forgive. Give us time to figure out how. And so what we have to do when we are trying to forgive people is you have to think about it almost like debt. It's a little bit like a debt. Because that's why they call it a debtor, right? Forgive us of our debts as we have forgiven our debtors. The word forgive and debt are in the same place. If you have wronged somebody, you are in a way enslaved to them until they've forgiven you, right? Bible says don't be in debt because that's a form of slavery. If you've wronged somebody, you haven't apologized to them and repented and asked for forgiveness, you're in debt to them because you wronged them. They've got a score. There's a score to settle there, and it's settled by you apologizing and you repenting, right? They need to do that to you too, but we've still got to forgive them even if they don't. The way Jesus teaches it is like this. He says that there was a man that owed, oh my goodness, let me actually just read it to you. The parable of the unforgiving servant. I can paraphrase it, but I want to actually just read it to you. This will be very helpful. And then after this, we will continue talking about crypto, but this is such an important question, guys. Such an important question. Let's see. Got it right here. It's a great question. Then Peter came and said unto him, Lord, how often will my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? As many as 7 times? Jesus said to him, I say not unto you 7 times, but 77 times. Therefore the kingdom of heaven can be compared to a king who wished to settle accounts with his servants. When he began to settle, one was brought to him who owed him 10,000 talents. If you translate 10,000 talents, that's like $100 trillion in modern money. I mean, this is literally more money that he owed this guy than the entire global economy is worth. Just for context. And since he could not pay, his master ordered him to be sold, and his wife and children and all that he had, in payment to be made. So the servant fell on his knees, imploring him, have patience with me, and I will pay you everything. And out of pity for him, key word, out of pity for him and compassion for him, the master of that servant released him and forgave him the debt. But when that same servant went out, he found one of his fellow servants who owed him 100 denarii, which is like $100, you know, tiny amount of money. So his fellow servant fell down and pleaded with him, have patience with me and I will pay you. He refused and went and put him in prison until he should pay the debt. When his fellow servants saw what had taken place, they were greatly distressed, and they went and reported to their master all that had taken place. Then his master summoned to him and said, you wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt because you pleaded with me and had compassion on him. And should not you have had mercy on your fellow servant as I have had on you? And in anger, his master delivered him to the jailers until he should pay all his debt. So, and in other translations, it says it handed over him to a place where there was weeping and gnashing of teeth, which is hell. So also my heavenly Father will do to every one of you if you do not forgive your brother from your heart. So how do we forgive? We know we have to. How do we forgive? We have to have compassion on the person that wronged us. That simple. We have to have compassion on the person that wronged us and understand that they're a human and that their actions were probably motivated by pain. It doesn't make it right, it's still wrong. But having compassion is the first step. All right, let's continue along here. I know that was a little long-winded. Apologies to everybody who's like, oh my gosh, it didn't come from this. But it's a good question. It's a question we've all got to take to heart. All right, and that doesn't mean you have to forget. That doesn't mean you have to trust. It does mean that we have to release the debt. Okay. Now, let's read a little bit. All right. Let's see. Good deal. All right, let's look at the prices a little bit more, and then we're going to continue on and wrap it out, guys. Great question there for Hoofty Floofin. That is Matthew 18:21 through 35. I would encourage you to go and read that and think about the place where it says the master had pity on him. We've got to have pity on those that have wronged us. It's a hard thing to do, and it can't always be done in the flesh. We've got to have Christ to help us with it. Anyway, Cardano's sitting at 45 cents. It is down 4.7% over the last 24 hours. Toncoin down 11%. Avalanche down 9%. Tron down 3%. Bitcoin Cash down 10%. Chainlink down 8%. Polygon down 5%. ICP down 9%. Great entries. If you guys were looking for entries, great entries. Should we be freaked out and scared about this? No. I don't think we should. It's going to be okay. Don't freak out. Remember to stick with the process of dollar cost averaging. You might be at a place like me. I've largely stopped dollar cost averaging at this point. I've got the position that I want. I'm not putting a lot more in. I'm investing in other things, maxing those out. So I've got the position I want. I've pretty much stopped my dollar cost averaging. I've got a huge position in crypto, and this is, I'm kind of in the position I'm telling you guys about. Like, I'm lopsided. A lot of our net worth is in crypto. And I want to balance that out. So we're going to be putting more money into the stock market now, even though there's opportunity in crypto. I want to make sure that we're not out of balance. It's very important to be in balance. We're working on wealth generation on several different fronts right now. We've got a lot of it in crypto, so we're kind of balancing it out, putting more income into other things now. Now, what do? We continue to dollar cost average, and we hold for the long run, and we choose fence off, and we will succeed, right? Cool. All right. Guys, I also want to remind you that today's show is brought to you in part by NordVPN, so make sure to go to nordvpn.com/Jeb or go to the link in the description box down below and sign up today to get access to high-quality security architecture that is going to keep you safe while you browse online by shrouding your IP address and keeping you invisible so that governments and hackers can't see where you're going, and you can browse safely, securely, freely, and privately. So make sure to go to nordvpn.com/Jeb, sign up for a 2-year plan, and protect your assets and your internet your data for the duration of the bull market. Under $200 for a 2-year plan. Absolute great deal. Man, we got some great deals down below. Check those out. Let's read a little bit of chat, and then we're going to wrap it out. Let's see. Let's see. Yep. Hello from Poland. Hello, Drian. Good to see you. Could you take a look at Nvidia stock? We can take a look at Nvidia stock, and then we're going to wrap it out. Nvidia, obviously, is a absolutely gargantuan company. I mean, we're on the logarithmic chart here, guys, and you can see in the last, 20 years how it's just been moonshotting. Take it off regular. It's nuts. It is absolutely crazy what is going on with Nvidia, and part of that is because of the cryptocurrency space. Nvidia is ultimately one of the major chip creators of chips for the miners. And so anybody that's bought Nvidia stock over the last several years has done very well for themselves. Now, pull up a website here. One of the things I want to caution you about with Nvidia is how freaking valuable it is. It's getting a little bit out of control. All right? Nvidia is now worth more than Saudi Aramco, which is one of the largest companies on the planet. It is now the third largest company on planet Earth by market cap. Why? We are moving into an ABCD. What's that? We're moving into an economy of A, B, C, and D. AI, blockchain, computer chips, and data. That is what the 2020s are being comprised of when it comes to the tech economy. And anybody that works in one of those spaces is now becoming extraordinarily wealthy. Microsoft, duh. They kind of do all four of those. Apple, same deal. Nvidia, same deal. Three largest companies on the planet work in one or most of those sectors. Alphabet, Amazon. You bet your bottom dollar Alphabet and Amazon have a lot to do with artificial intelligence. You know that the tech behind those companies has a lot of artificial intelligence in it. Google owns YouTube. The YouTube algorithm is an artificial intelligence that's been operational for almost 15 years that ranks the videos in YouTube. Blockchain. Almost everybody's getting into blockchain now. Computer chips. DOI. Data. Why do I bring all of this up? Data, of course. I mean, data is the ubiquitous one that every single company has stake in. Why do I bring this up? Nvidia is really freaking valuable right now, and I think it might be getting a little bit overvalued. It just doubled. If it doubled again, it'd be 25% more valuable than Micro-frickin-Soft. Does that actually make sense to you? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Not trying to be a pessimist or anything, but Nvidia has doubled in a couple of months. This is not a place where I'd be buying this. Go buy the S&P 500. You will get exposure to Nvidia in a controlled way. Not against buying the Nvidia. What I am against is you buying individual stocks in the first place if you have not already bought the S&P 500 or a mutual fund or an index fund that tracks the overall market that performs very well and has a long-term track record. And you're also buying some Bitcoin for the long run. Try and avoid single stocks. They are dangerous. They can make you a lot of money, but they're also very dangerous. We want to be very careful with the risk. You know, people think, oh, well, I got to take a bunch of risk. I got to take a bunch of risk whenever I'm making money in crypto. How many people do you know that think that way in the gym? I got to take a bunch of risk. I got to get one more rep. It's all about one more rep. But if you've got something that's going to injure you, then you've got a spotter because you don't want to take the risk. You want to grow with as little risk as possible. That's called having good form. We forget about that in investments, and we say, I'm going to do it however the freak I want. Risk or no risk, whatever. I'll take all the risk I can. Sure, thank you. I'll have a healthy helping of breakfast of risk. The gym bros got it figured out, though. The good ones. I'm not talking about the dude bros that are just dropping weights on themselves left, right, and center, that are crushing their ribs and, tearing Achilles and all that. I'm talking about the people that have been working out for 30 years, 35, 40 years. And they've realized the key to success in the gym is consistency and form. It is the same thing in investment, in anything. It is consistency and form. We are doing it in a way that we are not going to get our butts knocked off by the risk, and we're doing it in a way that we can feel comfortable to continue doing it this way for years. It's sustainable. And since it's realistic, it is sustainable. And because it is sustainable, we can be consistent. And because we are consistent, we will succeed. Should you buy individual stocks? Unless you have a lot of experience doing that. No, the vast majority of you should not. That's my hot take of the hour. One of many. Here's the thing. Nvidia can go a lot higher. I'm just saying it is still very risky to buy an asset that high. All right, guys, we are over time, so we're going to wrap it out. I hope all of you have enjoyed today's stream. Make sure to check out Vault with the link in the description box down below. Awesome self-custody solution that, again, also gives you access to live trading. Don't forget about that. You can actually access the markets and do live trading from Vault. It's a way of having self-custody while also having real-time access to a market. That is a big deal. This is revolutionary, guys. It's going to go absolutely crazy. Uphold has knocked it out of the park with this. So make sure to check out Vault with the link in the description box down below. And thank you all for tuning in. I do look forward to seeing all of you guys in the next episode. Always remember that all success in life begins with a personal and daily walk with the Lord Jesus Christ. And before we go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.